was made known that Tyson would be out in between?
Well, Bob Arum, his office had a conversation, and the money they were asking for was just completely crazy money. So it's cut through it all. It's impossible to negotiate if they say it is 80-20, then it's quite simple to have the negotiation. They say if it's a different number, it's still we've got something to work from. And until we get that, it's impossible because the expectation level of Dillian Whyte and the expectation level of Tyson are two different things.
Those are the words of Frank Warren as he states that he was asking for crazy money. The WBC wanted to give him a 20-80 split, which is completely unfair. I don't know where they get that number from. Maybe because they're basing that off of their last two fights, but you have to understand those are two different fighters for two different fights for two different reasons. Dillian Whyte took the low end because he wanted his belts back on a rematch clause. Tyson Fury had to fight Deontay Wilder in a much bigger fight. Okay, so it's unfair to compare those two fights together. Okay, because Povetkin, a guy that's over the hill, a guy coming off COVID, I don't even think he was really recovered fully from COVID. Coming from an upset loss to fight Dillian Whyte on the second time, and you're basing that off of that. Like, this man hasn't made millions of dollars or millions of quid or pounds before in fights. $3-4 million purses, $5-6 million purses. They're pretending like that shit never happened, like that was just in a different universe at a different time, and this time is now, so therefore we have to look at the last fight. So you're only looking at one fight and making that analysis on what you think or feel you should give Dillian Whyte. It's a clear duck. And let me lay this down by you. Crazy money. Okay, what do you mean crazy money? Did he ask for a flat rate? No. Did he ask for something specific? I don't know, because he didn't even mention it. He just said crazy money. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, give someone, at least have a flat rate, and then you could say he turned it down or whatnot. But the percentage splits itself, 20-80 is not fair, especially coming from somebody like that. Tyson Fury himself saying he's a Spartan. Now, you could argue, if you were a Tyson Fury diehard fan, you could argue and say, like, hey, well, this is Frank Warren and Bob Arum's deal. This is their bag. This is their job. And I think they don't want that fight for Tyson Fury. I don't know how Tyson Fury really feels, but to make him do something. You know what I mean? It's like, why would you only work for a standard to that degree? You wouldn't go past any of that. See, there's no negotiation. He's saying, well, we won't negotiate until the time has been determined, the arbitration. But here's the thing. Why not? You act like you can't do shit. Your hands are tied because of something that's going on in the arbitration. Like, you can't negotiate and become the middleman or that person or that side to dissolve the whole thing as it is. See, they could have done that. Frank Warren and Bob Arum could have done that. And I've listened to this interview, and then the interviewer asked a good question. Shout out to him. He's like, well, who are you going to put him in the ring with? You going to put him in there with somebody that's a bum? You got to put him in there with somebody so, you can build on, right? Oh, well, we're going to put him in there with whoever we can find to put him in there with. That's what I'm talking about. So you'd rather bypass a fight by underbidding, lowballing a fighter, and then fight a bum. Watch what I tell you. 2022 for it might be a Get Caballero. And if you doubt me, watch and see. Watch and see what happens when Tyson Fury, or the next opponent of Tyson Fury, he's going to be an absolute fucking shithouse. That's what he's going to be. And they're going to blame it on the arbitration like they didn't have a choice in the matter, and they did the whole time. They could have offered a flat rate. They could have offered a solution to solve the problem if that's what Tyson Fury wanted. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel about Frank Warren asking for crazy money. If it was that crazy, why couldn't you tell us what the hell it was? See, we didn't even hear what it was. We didn't even hear what the split is. And it just shows you how they want to lowball Dillian Whyte and can swivel and weasel their way out of that, bob and weave their way out of not fighting that guy to fight a bum, because that's exactly what they wanted to. They wanted to fight a bum before the Anthony Joshua fights, before the Deontay Wilder third fight. They are going to fight a bum. Watch and see. You guys tell me what you think about this counterpunch towards Frank Warren. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.